Have you ever tried to understand the enigmatic Sigma INFJ only to find yourself lost in a labyrinth of complexity? A world where mystery meets charisma, a world that belongs to the Sigma INFJs. They're captivating, they're elusive, they're a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. They draw you in, yet remain just out of reach, like an intriguing book you can't put down. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into this intricate maze. Let's embark on this journey together into the intricate maze of the Sigma INFJ's world. One of the first hurdles you might encounter with the Sigma INFJ is their impregnable fortress of distrust. Now, don't mistake this for being aloof or standoffish. It's a bit more complex than that. You see, Sigma INFJs are innately skeptical. They're like seasoned detectives, always on the lookout for inconsistencies and discrepancies. This inherent skepticism often makes them wary of opening up to others. Their hearts are like guarded vaults, only accessible to those who've earned their trust. But why is this? Well, there could be a myriad of reasons. It could be due to past experiences that have left them wary. Or perhaps it's their natural instinct to fiercely protect their inner world. Imagine a castle with a moat around it. That's how Sigma INFJs shield their feelings and thoughts, making sure no unwelcome visitors breach their defenses. This guarded nature of Sigma INFJs can make them seem distant, but it's simply a protective barrier they've built around themselves. Contrary to what you might expect, Sigma INFJs crave intimacy, but here's the kicker: they're also terrified of it. It's a paradox as fascinating as it is complex. Imagine craving the sweetness of honey but fearing the sting of the bee that produces it. That's the emotional landscape of a Sigma INFJ. They yearn for deep, meaningful connections, yet shudder at the thought of vulnerability that intimacy requires. This struggle is a dance between desire and fear, a tango of the heart that plays out in their relationships. It's like wanting to dive into the ocean but fearing what lies beneath its surface. The depth they seek is also the depth they fear. It's an intricate part of their nature, a tightrope they walk on in their pursuit of meaningful bonds. The fear of intimacy can be a daunting obstacle, but it's not insurmountable. Understanding this paradox is key to getting close to a Sigma INFJ. It's about patience, trust, and understanding that fear is just another layer of their complex nature. Sigma INFJs are natural observers, preferring to watch from the sidelines rather than share their own experiences. They have an innate curiosity, a deep fascination for the world and its workings. This curiosity, however, isn't fueled by a need for participation or a desire to dive headfirst into the action. Instead, Sigma INFJs are more like spectators in a grand theater, watching the world unfold from a comfortable distance. Their preference for observation over participation can often make them appear aloof, even inaccessible. But don't mistake their silence for indifference. They're not detached. They're simply absorbing, processing, understanding. They're like silent scholars, gathering knowledge not through direct interaction, but through keen observation and keen listening. This observational approach allows them to understand people and situations at a depth many of us can't even fathom. It's not that they don't want to share their own experiences. It's just that they find more value in witnessing yours. Their preference for observation might make them seem distant, but it's simply their way of understanding the world. Sigma INFJs don't just let anyone into their inner circle. Their standards for friendship are sky high. And why wouldn't they be? These introspective individuals don't just hand out their trust like free samples in a supermarket. They're like master chefs, carefully selecting only the finest ingredients for their recipes. In this case, the recipe is their close-knit circle of friends. They're not being picky per se. It's more about being selective, choosing only those who truly resonate with their values and ideals. They're not about having friends in every corner of the world. Instead, they prefer having a handful of friends who truly understand and appreciate them. They value depth over width, quality over quantity. And while this might make them seem elusive or even aloof to some, it's just their way of ensuring that their friendships are meaningful and genuine. Their high standards might make them seem choosy, but they simply value quality over quantity in their relationships. Unraveling a Sigma INFJ is like peeling an onion. There are endless layers to discover. You see, Sigma INFJs are not your average Joe. They're multifaceted, intricate, and oh so complex. They're like an intricate labyrinth, each turn revealing a new facet of their personality, a new depth to their character. You might think you've got them figured out, but then surprise, out comes another layer, another level of depth, another aspect of their personality you hadn't seen before. It's like an ongoing treasure hunt, where each clue leads you deeper into the maze, and each discovery is more enchanting than the last. Their layers aren't barriers, they're core components of their identity. They're enigmatic, yes, but that's what makes them intriguing. Their depth and complexity can make them seem elusive, but that's just part of their charm. Their endless layers can make them seem like a puzzle, but each layer unraveled brings you one step closer to understanding them. Before opening up, Sigma INFJs will test you. They're looking for one thing: authenticity. It's not about passing an exam or acing a quiz. It's about showing your true self, raw and unfiltered. Sigma INFJs have a knack for sensing when someone isn't being genuine, and they value authenticity above all else. They'll ask probing questions, and they're not just making small talk. They're trying to dig deeper, to understand who you truly are beneath the surface. They want to know your dreams, your fears, your passions. They're looking for real deep connections, not surface-level friendships. Now, this can make Sigma INFJs seem distant or even judgmental, but they're not trying to push people away. They're simply trying to figure out if you're someone they can trust, someone they can open up to, so don't take it personally. Their tests might make them seem skeptical, but they're simply looking for genuine connections. Opening up emotionally is a struggle for Sigma INFJs. It's like trying to pry open a clam. This might sound like a complex riddle, but let's dive in. Imagine a world within a shell swirling with a galaxy of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's what it's like inside the mind of a Sigma INFJ. When it comes to expressing these emotions, it's a whole different ballgame. They often grapple with finding the right words or the perfect timing. They're like poets who've lost their pens, brimming with verses yet unable to write. This often leads to a misconception that they're cold or distant, like an iceberg floating in an ocean. In reality, they're just trying to navigate the labyrinth of their emotions. It's not that they don't want to open up, it's more about finding the right way to do it. Their struggle to open up might make them seem cold, but it's simply a challenge they face in expressing themselves. Despite their elusive nature, Sigma INFJs are worth the investment. They're like a diamond in the rough. You see, diving into the depths of a relationship with a Sigma INFJ isn't a simple excursion. It's a deep-sea exploration, a journey to the core of an enigma. But oh boy, the treasures you'll unearth are priceless. First off, let's talk about loyalty. Sigma INFJs are fiercely loyal. They don't wear their hearts on their sleeves, but when they do open up, their commitment is unshakable. They'll have your back through thick and thin, in highs and lows, in the whirlwinds of life. They are your rock, steadfast and unyielding, always there when you need them. Next, let's delve into their depth. The mind of a Sigma INFJ is a labyrinth of thoughts and ideas, a repository of wisdom. They ponder upon the mysteries of the universe, the nuances of human behavior, the symphony of emotions. They're not just about small talk. They crave deep, meaningful conversations. So, when you engage with them, be prepared for a mental exercise that will stretch your intellectual horizons. And let's not forget the unique perspective they bring to friendships. Sigma INFJs view the world through a different lens. They see beyond the surface, beyond the apparent. They perceive the unseen, the unspoken, the undercurrents. They'll make you see things in a new light, challenge your assumptions, and push you to grow. So yes, building a relationship with a Sigma INFJ might be a challenge. It might be like trying to solve a complex jigsaw puzzle with no reference picture. But once the pieces start falling into place, the picture that emerges is beautiful, intricate, and utterly captivating. Sigma INFJs may be hard to get close to, but once you do, you'll find a friendship that's truly one of a kind. That's it for this video, and I see you in the next video.